Welcome to Unveil Horror Story, where the lines between myth and reality blur, and darkness creeps into the everyday. Today we're delving into the disturbing truth behind urban legends. Those terrifying tales whispered among friends, passed down through generations, and often blurring the lines between the myth and reality. But what if I told you these legends might not be as imaginary as you think? But what's the disturbing truth behind them? Let's find out. Our first story is one that many of us have heard: The Hookman, a tale of a young couple parked on a secluded lover's lane, only to hear the scratch of metal hook against their car. They rush home only to find a bloody hook hanging from the door handle. It's a classic story used to warn teenagers about the dangers of isolation. But what if this wasn't just a cautionary tale? In the 1950s, reports surfaced about a maniac with a hook terrorizing lovers laying in various parts of the United States. Some believe the legend was inspired by a real event: a deranged killer who was never caught, his crimes covered up to avoid public panic. Could the Hookman be more than just a ghost story? Next, we explore the chilling legend of the killer in the backseat. You might have heard the story. A woman driving alone at night stops at a gas station only to be warned by the attendant that someone is hiding in her backseat. In some versions, she escaped just in time. In others, she isn't so lucky. This urban legend has a basis in reality. In 1964, a New York woman was murdered by a hitchhiker she picked up, a man who hid in her backseat while she refueled. The story spread, evolving into the legend we know today. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the monsters we fear are all too human. The Babysitter and the Man Upstairs is a story that has terrified countless babysitters. A young girl alone with children receives unsettling calls asking if she checked on them lately. The tension builds until she learns the calls are coming from inside the house. This tale isn't entirely fiction. In 1950, a 13-year-old girl named Janet Christman was brutally murdered while babysitting. The killer called her repeatedly before the attack, mimicking the story we've all heard. Despite the investigation, her murder remains unsolved, and some believes this tragic event birthed the urban legend. Finally, we reach the vanishing hitchhiker. This legend tells of a driver who picks up a lone hitchhiker on a deserted road, only for them to mysteriously vanish from the car without a trace. Often the hitchhiker is revealed to be a ghost, sometimes even a victim of a tragic accident on that very road. This story might be rooted in reality. There have been numerous reports over the years of drivers claiming to have picked up a hitchhikers who disappear without explanation. Some believe these are spirits lingering on the roads where they met their untimely deaths. Are they trying to warn us or seeking a ride to the other side? Urban legends are more than just stories. They are reflections of our deepest fears, sometimes rooted in terrifying truths. Next time you hear one of these tales, remember, there's always a grain of truth in every story. If you found this exploration into the disturbing truth behind urban legends unsettling, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And always stay curious and stay safe.